the scene transitions here, when sometimes they would be with a title card of like the date and you know, the city, but there would be more often than not, it would fade to black and then come back, kind of like you're blinking or like you're going to sleep and you're waking up the next day. And every time that happened, it was like, okay, he made it to the next day. Like that moment for me was like a moment I could breathe, like, okay. And then, you know, he's just looking out the window or he's sitting there. I'm like, oh, he's okay, you know? Because when you hit that scene transition, it's like you go to sleep that night and it's like you wake up and you're good. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got that feeling each time that it would fade to black. I'd be like, and then he'd come back and I'm like, okay, we're good, you know?
Yeah, that's true. For me, it was the dates.
Gotcha.
I would see like 41. I'm like, all right. 42.
And
I'm like, we're getting there. We're almost there. I'm like hoping. I'm like, because we know, and I feel like that adds suspense for us as the audience,
that's
because
right.
we know how it ends. Like,
it went on to the mid 40s, so then we're like holding out.
So I'm like, this guy. I'm like, it's only 1941, and this guy's like struggling. I'm like, oh no, we still got like 4 more years to go, 5 more years to go. Like, is he gonna make it? Then it's like 42. You're like, okay, and then 43, and then you go by months, and I'm like, oh my, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I had that moment of realization the second time they showed the date, because the first time it could just be they're opening the movie up with like 1939 or whatever, and I was like, okay. And then they showed like 1940, and I'm like, no, we're going through the whole war.
Yeah, it kind of hits you. You're like, oh no, like, we're here for the entire
see the whole
ride.
War. This is a movie. It can be called The War Through a Window.
Yeah,
you see the whole progression of the whole war through a window.
Yeah,